Welcome to this edition of Cross Culture with Bola. I'm your host, Bola Feni, and today we'll be talking about culture. So, when we talk about culture, what exactly are we talking about? Culture are basically norms, they could be attitudes, they could be belief that distinguishes one group from another. Sometimes we form a generalized belief about a group or a class or a gender based on their culture. And culture is a lot because it encompasses religion, food, what we wear, how we wear them, where we wear them to, our language, our belief, music, funerals, how we marry, who we marry, what we believe is right and wrong, and how we sit at the table, how we eat, how we greet. That's huge in my culture, but that's the discussion for another day. And how we entertain visitors, okay? How we relate with loved ones, how we show that we love people. In some culture, you have to buy flowers and all that. You have to say, I love you. In some other culture, once you pay school fees and you provide a roof over their head, that's love enough. So these are basically expressions of culture. The interesting thing about culture is that every single one of us is born with a culture. Whether you're Caribbean, you're American, you're British, you're Middle Eastern, you're Asian, you're African, all of us have a culture. And all these different cultures have varying norms. And even within a group or a country, there are different subcultures in the different countries and all that. But there are important things for us to know about culture, though. Every culture is self-validating. None is superior to the other. So an African can come and say, oh, my African culture is superior to the American culture. Or a British guy says the British culture is more superior to the Asian culture. No, they are all self-validating. Another characteristic of culture is absorbed imperceptibly. You don't know that you're picking things up. You don't know that you're learning, but you are without realizing it. Another interesting thing about culture, typically, we see other cultures or a new culture as offensive. And sometimes we resist it. Why are they doing stuff like that? What's wrong with them? We don't think there's something wrong with our culture, but we think there's something wrong with another person's culture. So sometimes we resist something new. We want to stick with what we've known all our lives. However, in a globalized world, we need cultural sensitivity. We must be open and willing to learn about different culture. Let me throw some stats at you for a minute. Ethnic diversity is a thing now. An African country, Uganda, has the highest ethnic diversity rating. According to the data that we have, that is followed by another African country called Liberia. In actual fact, the 20 of the world's most diverse countries are all African. And in the United States of America, where I live, we have 76% of our population as white. We have almost 14% African Americans. We have 1.3% American Indian, and 5.9% are Asian. Another interesting statistics is that 26% of the US population are immigrants. And almost 500,000 of this number are from one beautiful West African country called Nigeria. So you see that the American society is diverse. There are a lot of people. We have a potpourri of cultures occupying the same space. And when we have so many different cultures in the same space like this, we need cultural sensitivity. If we're not careful, every single one of those cultures may subconsciously exalt their culture to the level of truism. And that's where the conflict comes from. Another word for culture is tradition. Whatever the tradition is, wherever it's from, we must know that our traditions are not always right. They are just our traditions. They do not invalidate other culture. They don't. And like I said before, this is a new world. The world, like my mother knew it, ceased to exist a long time ago. We now live in a different world, and cultural sensitivity has to be a thing. And my all-time favorite example of this is Jesus. Jesus came down from heaven. The culture of heaven was different from the culture that we have here. He lived here on earth. He ate our food. He did things that we did. In John chapter 4, when he encountered a Samaritan woman, and the woman was all, about culture, about tradition and all that, Jesus told her and said, God is a spirit. Those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. God is not bound by your culture. The Samaritan woman almost missed a life-changing encounter with God because she was stuck on her culture. This is a trap that every single one of us must avoid. Our language is not as important as we think it is. We must not focus on things like that. Language, age, all those different things that we hold as truism, we must let them go. I'm not saying don't speak your language. I'm not saying forget about how old you are. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we must see people as human beings and respect their culture, just like we respect ours. We must not see people as different from us. We must not amplify the differences. God does not relate with us based on our cultural differences. He relates to us as children of God. The Bible says that there is neither Jew nor Greek nor Gentile. We are all members of the household of God. An ability to learn, to listen, to experiment, and appreciate our different cultures is very crucial in the world that we live in today. So as you continue this journey with me, I want you to be open-minded. You don't have to agree, but be open-minded to learn. A willingness to learn is the first step to success in this globalized world. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and liking this video. Please let me have your comments. Let me know what you think about what I'm talking about. And I will include your comments in future videos. God bless you. Have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.